I don't come from a traditional consulting background, but what's been interesting for me is that the varied background that I have, which is fairly wide, has allowed me to bring all of the skills that I've developed to bear on the kind of work that I'm doing. My background ranges from working in the Peace Corps for 2 years, where I learned Portuguese and worked on community development projects, working for IBM for 10 years, where I worked my way into a role as regional manager of administration, where I managed a series of branch offices. I worked as manager of manufacturing for several years at a company called Raychem, and I worked as director of facilities, also for Raychem. My wife and I owned and ran a medium-sized, fairly prominent graphic design firm in the Bay Area. I also founded with some colleagues a consulting firm that worked with utilities. And then most recently I was vice president of a construction firm. So I managed projects, did business development, was involved in helping grow the firm. All of these projects that I was involved in offered me the opportunity to do something I really enjoy, which is to make and manage change. What I like to do is work with individual leaders who's setting out to make change or has decided that there is change necessary, and he or she is the leader that's trying to do that. And I like working with them and helping them kind of think through their strategy, and then to get into the implementation process. How do we set about making that change? And that whole process for me is a fascinating process, and one that uses the full range of skills that I bring with me from the different things I've done with my life. I enjoy working with ExpressWorks very much. In fact, I didn't think an organization like ExpressWorks existed. What was striking to me was the level of maturity and the backgrounds and experience that people brought with them, and their interest in applying that in an environment where the organization they worked for was a support and not in any way a hindrance. And for me, it's been a fascinating journey because I have such an unusual background in terms of the different kinds of things I've done. Family is at the top of the list for me. A centerpiece, is a real kind of anchor or stability in the middle of my life. Following my children's lives and seeing what they do with them is something I truly love. I'm also interested in the move to open source, the move to social networking, and how that's driving changes in business models for organizations and changes in politics. Some of the things I've been interested in has allowed me to bring some other facets of kind of what I've learned into the work that I do, and it's fun and enjoyable to do that.